The following video was captured by a Ring camera inside a home. At the time, the homeowners were simply feeding their cat and didn't notice anything strange while it was happening. It wasn't until later, when they reviewed the footage, that they realized something else had been there with them the entire time. Watch closely.
Buddy.
At first glance, many people were quick to say it was just a reflection. But before you settle on that explanation, here's what the garage looks like during the day. There's no window there, and no reflective surface that would explain it. The empty space you see is exactly where the car was parked in the original video, and the red circle marks the exact spot where the unidentified figure appeared. Some viewers believe it might be a residual presence, briefly replaying an energy tied to the house rather than actively interacting with the environment. A few people pointed out the cat's behavior as well, and of course, skeptics argue it could still be a lighting anomaly or camera glitch, even without a visible source. The homeowners say they've never experienced anything like this before, but now that they've seen it, they can't stop wondering, was this a one-time glitch caught at the perfect moment? Or something that's been there all along, only now revealing itself? What do you think? Now, in this next video, a woman named Jennifer owns a beautiful, historic home that dates all the way back to 1907, filled with antique pieces that go as far back as 1903. But not long after moving in, Jennifer began experiencing things she couldn't explain, and things that steadily became harder to ignore. Soft footsteps when no one else was home, faint whispering that seemed to come from empty rooms, objects shifting ever so slightly when she wasn't looking, and shadows, not quick tricks of the light, but lingering shapes that felt intentional. Concerned, she eventually reached out to several mediums, all of whom told her the same thing. They sensed children in the house. One evening, when the noises became louder and more persistent, Jennifer decided to pull out her phone and start recording, hoping to finally figure out what was causing it. Take a look.
Okay, I'm upstairs and the cracking was just me standing here. However, did you hear the sound after that? Because I'm a little freaked out. Because of course I'm home alone. And I'm scared. I'm gonna sit here and listen. See what I get. I just saw an orb. I saw an orb in the dining room across where the mediums have seen the children. And per usual, here's my sidekick making sure I'm okay. The innkeeper. Magnolia. I feel like I'm hearing like a faint music being played. And do you see that? Maybe it's just the shining from the lights. Just seems like something's in there right now. Walk down and see. Oh my God, what was that? Okay, I'm going over here. That was a big noise. That could not have been from the cat. She's still sitting there. Look at the mist around her right now, and she's looking. Oh boy.
What makes this even more unsettling is what Jennifer later discovered. After speaking with a local historian, she learned that when the house was built, there were no nearby hospitals, and it's believed that at least 4 people died inside the home. Deaths that likely occurred under stressful, emotional circumstances, the kind many believe can leave a lasting imprint on a place. Whether this footage captured lingering memories, restless spirits, or something far more aware, one thing is clear. Jennifer's home isn't just holding antiques from the past. It may be holding on to the past itself. The following video comes from another haunted home. This one owned by a woman named Lauren, who says the activity inside her house has been escalating for quite some time. Before this night, Lauren had already shared multiple unsettling incidents. She's discovered footprints appearing in the house that don't match the size or shape of anyone who lives there. She's seen figures moving at the edge of her vision, heard voices when she was completely alone, and watched objects shift or move without being touched. Each event on its own might be easy to brush off, but together they paint a much darker picture. One night, just as Lauren was about to go to bed, she began hearing whispering, so she reached for her phone and started recording. Listen closely.
What's that? What's that? Yeah, what was that, Teddy? Yeah, let's go down. Okay. Oh, no way.
Lauren was making a video to record the voice she heard. Instead, her camera caught a figure. Some viewers believe this could be intelligent haunting, where whatever is present is aware of Lauren and actively trying to make itself known. Others suggest the entity may be tied to the house itself, revealing itself more clearly as Lauren becomes more aware of its presence. But until Lauren shares more updates or captures clearer evidence, this case remains unresolved. Now, in this next video, a man captures something that's far from ordinary, and what happens afterward is even more unsettling. Watch closely.
Leave. Stop. You gotta go. Shh, 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 shh. Calm down. What are you? Stop. Charlie, come on. I don't even know how to explain what I'm seeing. Holy hell. No, this is crazy. Did you hear this last night? Oh, yeah. It was going last night. Now, did you... Charlie, come here. I guarantee it's going to keep on. It'll do it again. So, I don't know if you're going to see what I'm seeing. But... this is on repeat. This happens over and over. And then the knocking happens. The knocking. There it is. And it just goes and goes until you tell it to stop. Can you stop, please? I mean, it's just right there. That's new. Okay. Whatever you are, you gotta go. Man. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Goodbye. Yes? Hello? What is that? Who are you? I'm not gonna hurt you. Leave my lights alone.
In the footage, you can clearly see hands pressed flat against the glass, and then they simply vanish. But what made this situation truly disturbing wasn't just the clip itself, it was what the man shared afterward. He says he began experiencing that overwhelming sensation many people describe, the feeling that someone is standing just behind you, close enough to feel, but never close enough to see. He'd wake up in the morning to find his closet door wide open, even though he knew it had been shut before going to bed. And worse, the same set of handprints he saw on the glass outside now appeared on his mirror, pressed deep, as if someone had been standing inside the room, watching him while he slept. He keeps seeing a figure dressed in black, always briefly, always just out of reach, never long enough to fully make out its face. So what do you think he's dealing with? And if those hands weren't human, whose were they? This one remains deeply unsettling. In this next video, a couple experiences something strange inside their home, and this time their security camera captured it. Have a look.
Someone told the boss that we've got a new car, and he's called up next to me, and he's come into the office, and he is flustered. He's gone like, he's thrown everything, right? No.
Thanks, Dave. Love you too. Anyway, you were saying?
No, we don't. That's not how this works. No. I don't want to carry on with this story anymore.
He's like, yes, it is.
No. See you later.
In the footage, one of the kitchen drawers slides open on its own, even though no one is standing anywhere near it. What immediately stood out to viewers wasn't just the movement, it was the woman's reaction. According to her, this isn't even close to the worst thing she's seen in that house. She later explained that drawers opening on their own has become almost normal. There have been nights when she's heard footsteps pacing through the hallway, even though everyone in the house was already in bed. Sometimes she hears what sounds like someone quietly moving things around in the kitchen, only to walk in and find everything exactly where it should be, except for one item that's clearly been disturbed. According to her, whatever's in the house doesn't feel aggressive. If anything, she believes it might be a spirit looking for attention without actually causing harm. That belief is the only reason she doesn't think much about moments like this anymore. But others aren't so convinced. So the question is this really just a harmless ghost trying to be noticed? You decide. The following video is an update from Nate, the same man who's been documenting something repeatedly peeking out from his basement, along with a voice that's almost always whispering in his recordings. One night, Nate noticed his dog acting strangely. The dog began pacing, whining, and repeatedly looking toward the kitchen, clearly trying to alert him that something wasn't right. Nate brushed it off at first, until the dog suddenly ran out of the kitchen and went straight to the couch, where it froze, staring toward the kitchen, refusing to move. Watch closely.
Watching over at that spot. What'd you see? What is it? Tell Daddy. What'd you see? Where is it? Guys, always trust your pets. She got to like right here. Nothing in here. She is like following something. I don't know what she saw. I'm not sure what that was. No fucking way. No fucking way. I do not want you here. You are not allowed here.
Animals don't second guess what they sense, and dogs especially don't react like this without a reason. What happens next is what truly changes the tone of this entire situation. Up until now, whatever Nate has been dealing with mostly stayed subtle, whispering voices, peeking movements, objects shifting slightly. Because of that, many people believed it was a woman's spirit, especially given the soft whispering heard in earlier clips. Some thought she was trapped, confused, maybe even trying to ask for help or find peace. But this time, it crossed a line. A knife was thrown, and that single moment made people rethink everything. A spirit trying to communicate doesn't usually escalate to weapons, so is this still the spirit of a woman trying to pass on, or was that narrative wrong from the beginning? I'll leave you to be the judge. Now in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian returns to what many locals consider the most haunted house in Minnesota, the infamous Boyd House. This is a place already known for some truly disturbing claims, dolls that seem to move on their own, unexplained footsteps, and the sound of children giggling when no one else is there. But this time, as Ian enters the house, it's unusually quiet. No noises, no movement, but the silence didn't last long. Watch closely.
Holy dude, something just came towards me. What the heck was that? Hello? Oh my gosh. Who's there? I just heard like footsteps, like heavy footsteps coming like right towards me just now, coming from the parlor here. And what's even weirder is I felt like a cold breeze like rushing towards me. I don't know if you could somehow hear it or something.
That single moment was enough to convince Ian that whatever had been dormant inside the Boyd house was no longer resting. The Boyd house was built back in 1901 and served as the longtime home of Freddie Hart, his wife Minnie, and 11 children. Now Ian needed to know who was with him.
Minnie, is that you? Are you in the kitchen right now? Those are just my creaky footsteps. Minnie, if you were up here, could you? Whoa, 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 whoa! Dude, what the heck? That light just turned on! It just turned on by itself! Oh my gosh. Dude, she is in there.
Just like previous tenants have described, cabinets began opening, and moments later, a light turned on by itself. At that point, Ian felt confident this wasn't random. The behavior matched the reports almost perfectly. If the stories are true, Minnie's spirit doesn't hide. She rearranges, interacts, and makes her presence known. For more haunting videos, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip is about Rosanna, whose situation has become one of the longest running and most unsettling cases we've ever covered. She's tried everything, spoken to multiple paranormal experts, cleansed the house more times than she can count, switched rooms, switched routines, but instead of getting better, things have only escalated. Early one morning, Rosanna suddenly woke up after hearing the sound of a toy she was absolutely sure no longer worked. Confused, she grabbed her phone and went to check. Watch.
J'en ai marre, j'en ai marre, j'en ai marre. Ouais, ok. Alors le choupi, il est tout en haut de l'étagère là-bas. Et il ne marche plus. Voilà. Classique. Regarde, il est à 0. Il marchait plus. Tout le monde est super, je sais pas. Tais-toi. Tais-toi. J'ai entendu. Je suis pas folle. J'ai entendu.
At the time she was filming, she didn't see the shadow moving right in front of her. She only noticed it later when viewers pointed it out. And what made this moment even stranger is that the toy's batteries had been dead for months. So the fact that it suddenly switched on by itself, paired with that dark shifting shadow and then a faint voice saying hello from inside the bathroom, made everything feel a lot more intentional, almost like something inside that house was trying to get her attention. Viewers also pointed out something else. The bathroom door was open, and in a surprising number of paranormal cases, bathrooms are believed to be hotspots for activity. Some investigators say it's because bathrooms have mirrors, objects often tied to spiritual gateways. Others say it's the constant flow of water, since running water is believed in some traditions to attract or amplify energy. And a few believe it's simply because bathrooms are small, enclosed spaces where shadows and movements are easier to hide, and easier to miss. For Rosanna, it all adds up to one terrifying thought. Whatever is in her home is getting bolder. She's still searching for real help, especially because she wants to reunite with her kids, but she's terrified of exposing them to whatever this is. And until someone can confidently tell her exactly what she's dealing with, Rosanna remains stuck in a terrifying uncertainty, and this case remains completely unresolved. Now, in the following clip, a woman living deep in the Appalachian mountains was recording a song when she suddenly felt like someone was watching her. She started hearing footsteps, soft, slow, almost pacing, and faint whispers she couldn't make out. Watch and listen closely.
Just had a whole chill go down my spine like I'm being watched. I feel really disoriented right now. I don't know which way I came in. I feel like someone's stalking me. Like I keep hearing people talking, but no one's here. See? Just me. I feel like you guys aren't my only audience.
A lot of viewers replayed that moment over and over, and some swear they heard a voice whisper, "Who are you?" right before the clip ended. It sounded low, masculine, almost like someone was standing just out of frame. And the moment her entire body went cold, she knew she had to leave immediately. But this wasn't a one-off moment. It happened again. This time, she was in her backyard practicing another song when something else happened. Watch this.
I'm in my backyard, so I can't. Imagine anything would go wrong. Worst comes to worst, I'll run inside. So if someone or something is here, then it followed me home. It's really quiet. It's almost dark.
right before she starts playing, you can see something peeking out from behind a tree. Just a quick flash of what looks like a face. And according to her, it didn't sound like an animal. It sounded like someone shifting their weight, someone trying not to be noticed. And here's where the debate starts. Some viewers believe she's dealing with a stalker or a person hiding in the woods. Because living in the Appalachian Mountains, you often hear stories of people who've gone off grid, loners who wander the forests, or strangers who watch without ever revealing themselves. Others think this is something far stranger, maybe one of those unexplained Appalachian legends people warn you about. But then you have believers who say the whispers, the peeking figure, and the perfectly timed rustling all feel too synchronized to be a random person. They think she's dealing with something not entirely human, something that's been watching her for a long time. So is this a person hiding in the woods, or something else entirely? I'll leave that for you to decide. In this next video, an unusual and honestly unsettling moment was caught on a security camera inside a morgue. Take a look. Right after this video went viral, plenty of health practitioners chimed in, saying moments like this are more common than people think. According to them, a corpse can sit up, make guttural noises, or even move slightly due to muscle contractions, nerve reflexes, or gas release. In the medical world, this isn't considered paranormal, it's just the last bits of the body reacting. But in the paranormal world, this is a completely different story. When a corpse sits up suddenly at the exact moment it's being attended to, many believe it's a sign of a spirit trying to re-enter the body, or a final attempt to communicate something that wasn't said before death. Some say it means the soul hasn't fully crossed over, lingering in a confused or restless state. Others believe morgues, because of what they hold, naturally attract spirits who hover between worlds, making them hotspots for unexplained activity. There are even theories that certain sudden movements may happen when a presence is near, influencing the body or the environment around it. And if you talk to longtime morgue workers, many will admit there are nights where the room feels crowded, even when every bed is still. So with all the debates, theories, and strange stories surrounding morgues, if you experience something like this right in front of you, what would you do? Now, in the following clip, a ghost hunter and his crew visited a house that once belonged to an elderly couple who had passed away, leaving the home abandoned for years. They were only just setting up in the living room when the investigator suddenly heard a sound coming from one of the back rooms. His first thought was simple, probably a rat, or maybe something blown over by a draft. But when he entered the room, this is what he saw.
Dar nu se vede nimic. Deci se aude, dar nu se vede. Mamă, frate, fii atent! Holy shit! Vai, nu mai știu să vorbesc. Nu mai pot, bă. Ce-o zis? Îmi pun ăla în cap.
If it had been only the window, maybe, just maybe, he could have talked himself into a logical explanation. But the moment that old porcelain doll spoke, he knew immediately this wasn't about rodents or loose windows. Something else was in that house, and it seemed to be slowly revealing itself piece by piece, like it wanted them to notice. From there, the activity grew stronger. Cold pockets of air kept passing between the crew members, and a picture frame on the wall kept tilting itself back and forth, almost like someone was trying to get their attention. Every sign pointed toward one truth. Something or someone was in that house with them. After doing a full sweep of the building and confirming no one else was inside, they decided to try communicating with whatever spirit was present. Take a look.
Dă tabloul la jos, poți? Ia să vedem că... Oricare spirit te-ai afla în balcon, oricare entitate, îți ordon să dai tabloul la jos cu doamna Timea. Băga mea și pula în dracu, gata, eu nu ți-am plecat acasă. Am băgat pula mea.
When he asked the spirit to pull down the picture frame, and it actually happened, viewers immediately began theorizing.
Mari. Hai de pula mea. Vai de ca, hai să plecăm, Ionuț.
Some believe the spirit was trying to show anger or frustration. Others think it was simply responding to acknowledgement, grateful that someone finally noticed its presence. A few even suggested the frame might hold a photo or memory tied to the couple who once lived there, and pulling it down was its way of pointing to unfinished business. The crew then tried something else, hoping to gather information about the spirit's story.
Since when are you dead?
Prizonier.
Nu, doamne, prizonier a fost în război.
Give me a number.
Leonard.
Radar.
Bă, să te atragi, eu vorbesc în engleză și ar răspunde în română, mă.
Nu întreb.
Sometimes spirits who struggle to move on aren't staying because they want to. Some linger out of confusion, unable to accept that they've passed. Others stay because of emotional attachment, a memory, a person, an object they're tied to. And in some rare cases, they remain because they're waiting, hoping for someone to help them finish something they never could in life. The investigators kept communicating, testing the spirit's responses, checking how active and aware it truly was.
Ana Maria, închide ușa aia, oleacă, dacă poți.
Ana Maria.
Ia, marș de aici, Ionuț.
Ce ai, mă? Nu, dar să te vei nimește.
Băi, s-o închis ușa, tu ești nebun la cap?
Ce, bă? Hai, chiar ai.
Fortunately, their experience that night was calm. The spirit didn't try to lash out or attack. Instead, its interaction seemed intelligent, almost purposeful, like it had a message but couldn't express it fully. But why it still lingers in that house, why it hasn't crossed over, is something the team hasn't been able to uncover yet. So until they figure it out and share more updates, this one remains unsolved. This clip is about a delivery guy who, in his own words, lives life one day at a time. But recently, his days have been anything but ordinary. For months, he's been trying to explain the strange things he's seen and heard while on the job. But every time he shares his stories, his friends either laugh or brush it off as him being dramatic. Everything changed on the 14th of September, 2022, when he was assigned to deliver at a newly developed site with fresh, unfinished buildings. The place looked quiet, almost too quiet, but as soon as he entered one of the buildings, he began hearing strange sounds echoing from deep inside, footsteps when nobody was there, faint voices that seemed to vanish the moment he tried to follow them. At first, he ran out, unsettled, but he couldn't shake the feeling that what he heard was real, so the very next day he went back, this time not for work, but for proof. Have a look.
I'm at this house in somewhere North Carolina. Brand new house. Just has been built. And I was making a delivery here yesterday. And I kept hearing something upstairs. And I'm the only one here. I was here by myself. But something kept bumping around up here. Sounded like somebody walking across the floor. So today we're gonna come check it out. See what it could be. Kind of odd. As you see, nobody's here. I'm here by myself. Nobody's around. Every single room is empty. Close it. See anything that would have been moved or could move that's up here loose or anything. See, nobody's here. Nobody's hiding anywhere.
Nope, nobody.
See? Now who the hell is crazy now? Did you hear that thump? See, I'm here by myself. Nobody's here. Just me. What the hell? See, nobody's here. What the hell was that? It's a brand new damn house. Nobody's here. We'll go over in a minute. Still gotta make sure so everybody doesn't think that I'm crazy. I have somebody here with me. Nobody's here. Just me. Nobody's here. He's back out to the hall. Nobody's here. Let's see what could be going on. See, nobody's here. There's nothing possible that could be bumping around by itself or thumping. Nobody, nothing. No animals, no nothing. So strange how a brand new house is already haunted. Now, let's see. I just needed proof. But yet again, nobody's here. Proof.
What he recorded stunned even him, and now he's sure that the noises weren't just in his head, they were real, and now undeniable. But he's still worried his friends will dismiss it as edited audio or coincidence, so his plan is simple: bring them along next time. Because sometimes, he says, people only believe what they can see and feel themselves. In the following video, a guy is making a quick video to show his sister's fiance just how creepy the crematorium where he works can get after hours. What starts as a casual walkthrough quickly turns into something far more disturbing. Watch this.
Lights, they turn off automatically at a certain hour. And I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna walk you through I have a friend that works that he would see and hear things coming from these furnaces when they're burning the bodies. So when I'm walking through here, they usually put the urns out to send to the families. So when I'm walking here at night, I walk right by these urns that they put on these tables here. And then I come down, freaking out. This is crazy.
Now, crematoriums already carry a heavy atmosphere. The energy there is said to linger, trapped between the living and the dead. Some even believe places like this can absorb emotions, grief, pain, fear, and release them in strange ways. Others think the constant contact with the deceased could make it easier for spirits to attach themselves to the living, especially workers who spend long nights alone. Now, back to the guy in this video. He's convinced there's a ghost haunting this crematorium, and until someone gives him a better explanation for what he saw, he's not budging from that theory. So what do you think? Paranormal encounter, or something else? You decide. Now, this next video was captured at around 3:15 in the morning, and after what happened, there was no way the guy could go back to sleep. Watch this.
Estaba por entrar a mi casa, son 3:15 de la mañana, y la luz empieza a ser así, no sé. Sinceramente siento que hay alguien acá. No sé por qué lo presiento. Si te querés mostrar, mostrate ahora. Hay alguien sentado ahí. Hay alguien sentado. Mostrate.
Only people who've woken up to the sound of something unexplainable can truly relate to the kind of terror this brings. That feeling of being watched, of knowing you're not alone. And for this guy, it's not a one-time event. Strange things keep happening in his home, often at the same exact hour, like something's deliberately choosing that time to make itself known. But many who followed his story were relieved to find out it wasn't the teddy this time. The same teddy that's moved on its own in several of his earlier videos. But that only made people wonder, what if it was never the teddy? What if whatever's in his home simply uses different objects to get his attention? Or worse, to toy with him? Some say he's dealing with a spirit that feeds off fear, while others think something darker might be attached to the house itself. Until he shares another update, what's really tormenting him remains a mystery. In the following clip, a woman named Jess shares a chilling story, one that's been haunting her for over a decade. Jess lost a close friend named Derek 13 years ago, and ever since then, he's never really left. No matter where she moves, strange things follow. Lights flickering, footsteps in empty rooms, objects shifting on their own. And in her new home, one she moved into just a few months ago, it seems Derek has somehow found her again. Watch this.
Mary, what? He's doing it again. He's doing it again. Mary, he's doing it again. Derek. Hey, Derek. I know you're dude. Derek. Derek. I'm talking to you, man. Stop f***ing me, dude. Calm down, Jessica. It's okay. It's okay. Calm down. It's just Derek. It's just Derek. Hey, Derek. Hey, Derek. What you doing, buddy? I miss you. Derek. What are you doing, buddy? You know I love you. You know I love you. Hey, Derek. Come on, you dumb... What the f...
Now, a lot of people believe Jess might be unknowingly holding on to something that once belonged to Derek, something personal that's keeping his spirit tethered to her. Others think Derek could be trying to communicate, perhaps trying to deliver a message she's missed for over 13 years, something that, once understood, might finally allow him to move on. But not everyone agrees. Some say she's making a dangerous mistake, that what she's experiencing isn't Derek at all, but something pretending to be him, using her grief to gain her trust. A few even suggested she check her attic, where energies tend to gather in old houses, and when she finally did, this is what she found.
Y'all wanted me to come up to the attic, okay? This is the wall that y'all saw some shit on. And these are the stairs. Like, my husband has all his clothes, of course. But if you look up there, there's no windows. I'm not going all the way up there because it scares the shit out of me. There's no windows. There's a sofa, some mirrors, a chair, his clothes, but there's no windows up here, okay? There's nothing up here that would have done anything. See? No window. No window. No windows. Nothing. Absolutely nothing up here. Other than like his toolboxes and a chair. I'm not going up here because it's too scary for me. But there are some mirrors, which is weird for an attic. A fan. See, there's no windows. This is my attic. There's nothing up here that could have done that shit. Alright, I'm getting the out of here because it feels weird.
So, is Jess truly being visited by the spirit of her old friend? Or something else wearing his face to keep her believing? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Now, in this next clip, we're looking at footage captured inside a daycare in East Tennessee, one that used to be an old church before it was converted. Watch this.
The video I'm about to show you is very disturbing. I'm just going to let it play for you, and then I'll give you the background.
See? Lights go off. Now watch. You're going to see.
What you just saw was security footage that was sent to me by a woman who worked at a daycare in East Tennessee, Appalachia region. This daycare is actually a very old church that was turned into like a private daycare school. She said that events leading up to this, she was kind of having some weird experiences where she would be in her office after hours and would hear like people walking down the stairs, and then she would go check the stairwell and nobody would be there, or she would hear noises coming from classrooms and open up the door and see nothing. She said she would be the only one on the property at this time because she was in charge of like opening the daycare center, and then she would often stay after hours. So nobody was in the building when she was hearing these noises. On this particular day, she was opening the daycare. She went in that door that you saw at the end of the hall and noticed there was an iPad laying on the ground. This was really odd to her because these iPads are put into this like cabinet area that are hooked on like chargers. And she said they're very secure and they're like sitting up on charging decks, if that makes sense. She thought maybe an intruder came in or something, so she immediately notified the security officer who came and checked the camera footage. And that is the camera footage that you saw. Literally, the way that iPad just flings out of that cabinet is giving me chills right now. In the beginning, I feel like I also saw some kind of an orb object, but I've watched this video so many times and I feel like it's just unexplainable. Tell me what you saw in the video, if you saw the orbs like I did, or if you noticed anything else that's odd, and leave in the comments if you have any weird experiences like this.
The way that iPad flew across the room is hard to wrap your head around. Now here's a bit of context. The woman who shared this video works at the daycare and said there had been a series of strange occurrences long before this day. She'd often stay late in her office and hear what sounded like footsteps coming down the old wooden stairs, only to find no one there. Other times, faint noises would come from the classrooms after hours, toys rattling, drawers opening, whispers she couldn't quite make out. On the morning this footage was recorded, she arrived early and found one of the iPads lying on the floor. Now, she's the one who usually opens the daycare, so at that time, the building should have been completely empty, the iPads locked away in a cabinet as usual. Thinking it might have been a break-in, she called security. Omen people believe it's residual energy from when the building was still a church, that maybe the spirits of those who once gathered there never really left. Others think the conversion of the sacred space might have disturbed something that didn't want to be moved, but what do you think really happened inside that old daycare? In this next clip, a woman was walking down a quiet street late at night when her camera picked up something she couldn't explain. Watch.
Or the sub for you is going to be more. Everything's going up, but our wages aren't going up. Because I'm still seeing wages that are fucking pitiful on Indeed. Oh yay, I can make the same amount of money I made when I was out of high school, you know? Looks like there was a figure just standing right there. That's so crazy. I think it was my own shadow. That happens way too often.
At first glance, it looks like nothing more than a shadow, but take a closer look. The outline, the faint movement, and those glowing eyes staring straight at her. Some viewers think she may have caught a shadow figure, a manifestation often linked to dark energy or spiritual unrest. Others believe it's something far more physical, a creature that thrives in the dark, staying just beyond our understanding. There could be many other explanations for what she saw, like a trick of the light, an animal, or maybe something else entirely. But the idea that it could be something aware of her presence is what makes this clip so unsettling. Because if figures like this can move freely among us, unnoticed and unbothered, it makes you wonder what else is out there when the streets go quiet. So, what do you think she captured that night? And do you believe that some things walk among us, some seen and others we were never meant to see? Now, in this next clip, a woman named Keys has been dealing with strange activity in her home, the kind that keeps her up at night. But this time, she finally managed to catch something on camera. Watch this.
What is happening right now? First the door was moving, then I heard like talking, and then I keep seeing shadows. And for anyone telling me that I should go out there, yeah, why don't you go out there, please? Oh, it just opened and shut right in front of me. Oh man, I wish I could. Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! I'm freaking out. And before anyone comes at me, it's freaking the middle of October in Pennsylvania. It's freezing out, so I have no windows open. I have one fan that circulates throughout the whole room, and that door has never done that. Like, it's moved on its own, but never just like slammed shut like that. I can't believe I just caught that on camera. What the actual believe I just caught that. And of course I'm alone. Yay me. Fun times.
Whatever that was, it's not the first time she's seen it. Keys says things like this have been happening for months. Objects moving on their own, lights flickering even when the power's stable, and that unsettling feeling that someone's standing right behind her when no one is there. She's tried everything from cleansing rituals to changing rooms, but nothing seems to stop it. And now, after this footage, she's starting to wonder if whatever's haunting her house might be getting stronger. If you've ever experienced something similar, drop your thoughts below. What did you do to make it stop? Because at this point, Keys is running out of ideas and courage. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian visits one of Nebraska's most haunted locations, the Argo Hotel. This place has a long and unsettling history. Years ago, when it was still a sanatorium, a woman named Alice reportedly died during childbirth in the basement. Since then, people say her spirit never left. They hear her crying softly in the hallways at night, sometimes calling for her baby. But here's the disturbing part. During renovations, workers found skeletal remains of an infant sealed inside one of the walls. Many believe it was Alice's child, and she's not the only one said to haunt this place. Guests staying in room 1 often complain about their blankets being tugged off in the middle of the night, or waking up to the sound of faint breathing right beside them. On November 28, 2024, Ian decided to spend the night alone inside the Argo Hotel, hoping to capture proof of what's really happening here. Watch.
That sounded like a lady's voice, right there. I swear to God, I just heard that right behind me. Alice, is that you? She's that ghostly woman that they see wandering around. Could you say something again? I don't know if I'm just losing it, but I swear to God I heard that. I'm not hearing anything else. It's dead quiet. Alice, was that you I just heard? Whoa, whoa. There's something standing right over there. It was right behind that couch. There was something literally standing in that photo. It was like a mist or something. But I'm not seeing it anymore. It's completely gone.
So was that Alice still wandering these halls, or something else entirely? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following clip, a family lives on a street where something unsettling has become routine. Almost every night, right around 3 a.m., all the dogs on the street begin barking and howling at once. Not one or two, but every dog, reacting as if something unseen is moving through the area. Most families say that when they peek through their windows, they see nothing at all. No people, no animals, nothing out of place. Yet some neighbors wake up in the morning to find footprints outside their homes, even though security cameras never capture anyone walking by. One morning, the man in this video was home alone when he started hearing strange noises coming from his kitchen. Watch.
Pati fue a dejar a Rafita y escuché que alguien anda allá abajo. No estoy seguro, pero creo que la luz de la cocina está prendida o se prendió. Voy a ver qué onda. Ahorita estoy solito. No manches, creo que sí está prendida. Ay, güey, sí está prendida. Yo la apagué, les juro que yo la apagué cuando salí del baño. Y de hecho la puerta estaba cerrada. Hola. ¿Alguien está ahí? Hey. Hola.
Toward the end of the video, a disturbing grunt and something wailing can be heard. That's when the family realized that whatever had been triggering the dogs at 3 a.m. might no longer be confined to the street. On another morning, the same man went down to use the bathroom when this happened. Watch closely. The sound of footsteps can be heard, almost rhythmic, like someone moving or dancing just out of view. Some believe this could be a roaming entity, something that doesn't stay in one place and instead moves through neighborhoods, passing from street to street, home to home. Others think the constant attention this family has been giving it, watching, talking, reacting, may have unintentionally drawn whatever it was closer, allowing it to shift from the street into their house. But before things escalate any further, the family is now actively seeking answers. So what do you think? Was this always heading toward their home? Or did noticing it invite something inside? Now, in this next video, a man who works night shifts at a school shares a story that slowly turns unsettling. Part of his job is simple but strict. Before leaving, he must switch off every light, check the restrooms, make sure no taps are running, and confirm the building is completely empty. But one morning, he gets a call saying several lights were left on, along with a tap running. Confused, because he knows he checked everything, he starts documenting his routine. Night after night, he records himself turning off the lights and walking out. Yet, somehow by morning, the lights are back on again. As word spreads, teachers and staff begin opening up about strange things they've noticed over the years, doors opening on their own, and sounds echoing through empty halls. But one detail stands out above the rest. Multiple people claim they've seen a young girl wandering the hallways at odd hours, usually when everyone should be in class. One night, while recording his final walkthrough, something happens that seems to connect everything. Watch closely.
Bueno, miren, en esta área es donde supuestamente miran a una niña o han visto una niña. Tanto maestros como otros trabajadores de aquí del lugar. Dicen que miran una niña. ¿Escucharon eso? ¿Escucharon? Entonces... ¡Uy, güey! Vámonos. Vámonos.
If you focus on the left side at the end of the hallway, something appears to peek out, then vanish. Moments later, he begins to hear things, like someone else is there with him. Now he's left wondering, was the girl teachers have been seeing the one turning the lights back on all this time? And if so, who is she and why is she still there? Until more updates are shared, this case remains completely unsolved. The following video is a throwback to a chilling moment caught during a camping trip in the Appalachian Mountains. A man is resting when he suddenly hears a voice calling his name. At first, it sounds familiar, too familiar. But what makes this unsettling is that the voice belongs to his brother, a brother who passed away 2 years before this video was recorded. Watch closely.
Ryan, open up.
Who is this?
Ryan, I'm your little brother.
No, you're not.
Ryan, come on, open up.
What is that?
I'm at the door, Ryan. Come on, Ryan.
What's strange is how calm and direct the voice sounds. It clearly claims to be his brother, calls him by name, and even asks him to open the door. The Appalachian Mountains are already known for unexplained disappearances, strange lights, mimic voices, and people reporting the feeling of being watched for hours at a time. Some think whatever spoke that night wasn't trying to comfort him, but trying to gain access. Others believe it could have been something feeding off grief, using his brother's voice as a way in. Whatever it was, the Appalachians continue to be one of the most mysterious places in the world, with stories like this surfacing again and again. And if you've ever experienced something strange out there, you're definitely not alone. This next video was captured inside a family home where, for several nights in a row, they'd been hearing the unmistakable sound of footsteps moving outside their windows. Not pacing randomly, but slowly, deliberately, like someone circling the house, stopping, then continuing again. At first, they brushed it off, thinking it might be a neighbor or an animal passing through. But the sounds kept returning, always late at night, always close to their windows. Eventually, when it started again one night, the mother decided to call the police. While waiting for them to arrive, the footsteps grew closer, and then came the knocking. That's when she grabbed her phone and caught this. Have a look.
Regina, están tocando. Pedro. Ya le hablé a la policía. Y ahorita va a venir. Tráeme un palo, Regina. ¿Qué es eso? Tráeme algo. Va a venir ahorita la policía. Corre. ¿A qué estás molestando aquí? Ya te habías ido. ¿Qué quieres? ¿A quién quieres? ¿A quién quieres? ¿A Regina o a quién quieres?
¿Cómo que a mí?
¿A quién quieres? Vete de aquí. Vete de aquí. Se paró. ¿Quién chingados eres? ¿Quién te mandó?
By the time the police arrived, the house was completely silent. No movement, no sounds, no one outside. The only proof that anything had happened at all was the video she recorded. After this clip circulated online, many viewers began connecting the dots. Some speculated the house may have once belonged to someone who never truly left, pointing out how the activity started with footsteps circling the property, almost like someone retracing familiar ground. Whatever it was, it didn't seem lost, but until more answers surface, this encounter remains deeply unsettling and unresolved. In this next video, a man shares what he describes as some of the most extreme paranormal activity he's ever experienced inside his home. For weeks, things haven't felt right. Objects shift overnight, doors are found open when he knows he shut them, and heavy footsteps echo through the house long after everyone should be asleep. Some nights, the atmosphere feels so tense that he says it's hard to even breathe properly, like the air itself is pressing in on him. One night, he started hearing strange noises, so he grabs his camera and decides to follow the sound, hoping to finally catch whatever's been disturbing him. Watch closely.
Si están escuchando ruidos acá, ahí dejaron de hablar. Hace días que vengo escuchando ruidos acá. Ya no sé cómo... Se cayó de acá un botín. Ya igual a estas alturas miedo ya no tengo. Concha de su madre. Esos hijos de puta. El coche yo no lo dejo ahí aparte. Siempre aparece el coche en cualquier lado. Ya no sé qué. Hijo de puta. Benji, vení acá. Vení, Benji, acá. Se me desvanecen las piernas ya. Ya no sé cómo voy bien. Benjamín, vení conmigo. No te vayas, vení. Quédate acá. Quédate acá. Deja de ladrar, quédate acá. ¿A dónde estás mirando, Benjamín? Vení acá, Benjamín. Andate, hijo de puta.
What makes this even more unsettling is that his dog often reacts first, waking him up by barking at empty corners, growling at doorways, and refusing to enter certain rooms. And now, with the figure he catches standing in the doorway, it feels like whatever has been hiding in his house for a long time may have finally revealed itself. Whether this is something paranormal or something far more disturbing, one thing is clear: he's not alone, and for now, this remains a mystery. In the following video, a man says his young daughter has been insisting that her doll moves on its own, even when she isn't touching it. At first, he brushes it off as imagination, until she keeps bringing it up, describing the doll turning or shifting when she's not in the room. Wanting to put the claims to rest, he decides to test it himself. He places the doll on a flat surface, sets up a camera, and stays nearby to make sure nothing interferes. Watch closely. After the video surfaced, many were quick to say someone must have pulled it with a string or something, but the man insists he was home alone at the time and standing directly in front of the doll when it happened. No strings, no pets, no one else in the room. That's when speculation starts pouring in. Some believe it could be a delayed mechanical shift inside the doll. Others argue that unexplained movement is often one of the earliest signs people report before activity escalates. So was it a trick of physics, or something reacting to being watched? You decide. Now in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his investigation inside the historic Mabel Tainter Memorial Theater. Earlier that night, he captured a brief but chilling moment. A pale figure, believed to be the infamous woman in white, peeking out from behind the curtain. Shaken but focused, Ian decides it's best to call it a night. But just as he's wrapping up his video, something unexpected happens. Watch closely.
And, what the f? That was a piano. I was about ready to stop recording. Hello? Oh, there it is. That's the piano. I just heard that. But look at this thing, it's completely shut. How could that happen? It's not one of those player pianos, is it? I doubt it. This thing looks ancient. What does that say? Mabel's piano? What? No freaking way, this is her piano. That is insane. Holy shit, and I just heard it.
After hearing this, a disturbing thought hits him. For years, locals have whispered that Mabel herself still lingers here, especially near the piano. Some believe she appears when investigators are about to leave, as if she doesn't want to be alone again. But instead of assuming, he decides to ask directly. Watch what happens next.
Could you play a song? I bet you're an amazing piano player. I'll tell you what, if you play one single note, I will be satisfied. If you could just play one single note. Oh my God! I just saw that! That was that key! Oh, holy shit! She's literally playing the piano! Thank you so much, Mabel. That was that key right there. That was the key right there she just played.
Whether this was Mabel reaching back through time or something else entirely remains up for debate. But moments like this are why the Mabel Tainter continues to be one of the most chilling locations Ian has ever explored. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip is about a couple, Jeff and Lauren Lowe, animal lovers and parents to their young daughter Sarah. For a while now, this family has been dealing with a series of disturbing and unexplained events inside their home. Their cats have been caught hissing at empty corners. There's often the unmistakable feeling that someone else is in the room when no one is there. And even more unsettling, their daughter has complained about hearing someone whisper her name when she's alone. They've also reported tapping sounds when no one else is home, along with sudden, violent rattling of doors that seems to come out of nowhere. These incidents have become frequent enough that the family no longer sees them as isolated events. One day, after returning home, something immediately caught Lauren's attention. Watch.
Oh my gosh, no way. Stop the car. Hold on, stop. Check this out. Guys, we just got home. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look. It's seriously doing it again? We just got home. And you guys are right. There are no other bushes beneath any of the other ones. And I did fix the chain. And it's still doing this. So I have no idea if it has anything to do with the bush.
I don't know about you guys, but I am not touching it. I'm not disturbing it. If it is a spirit playing with it. I mean, look at it. And none of the other ones are going, so. It's really strange how it's the only one going. And yeah, it is the only one with a bush under it, so. It's interesting.
Could whatever they've been experiencing be connected to that bush? Some viewers believe the bush can act as a conduit, a place where energy gathers or something unseen anchors itself. Others suggest animals or even spirits may use it as cover, moving through it without being seen. A few have gone as far as to say the bush may need to be removed entirely, claiming it could be masking whatever is trying to interact with the house. But until Lauren decides to clear the bush, this strange activity remains unsolved. This next clip comes from a woman you might recognize from previous videos, the same one who bought a Chevy truck that her dog Titus refused to go near. At the time, people brushed it off as a strange quirk. Titus would grunt, sniff the air, and completely refuse to enter the vehicle, no matter how much encouragement he got. Now, he's acting strange again, but this time it's not the truck. It's something inside the house. Watch.
What's wrong?
You think?
Thomas, what is that?
Titus is visibly uneasy in the living room, focusing on one specific area as if something invisible has his attention. Some viewers suggested installing a carbon monoxide detector, thinking the dog might be sensing something coming from the fireplace. Others blamed mice. But according to the woman, whenever there's a mouse in the house, the cat immediately goes into hunting mode. This time, the cat wasn't acting like prey was nearby. Friends have advised her to contact a pet psychic, and she says that's her next step. Until then, she's continued documenting Titus's behavior, trying to catch a pattern. But things got more disturbing when the cat too started acting strange. Watch this.
You want to hear? James. Why do you want to hear it? Ready? Hey. Jangles. Okay, here we go. Okay, go on. Hi.
After repeatedly trying to head into the garage, the cat suddenly freezes, backing away as if something is blocking the entrance. And when Titus joined them and started acting in his usual strange manner, she became convinced that something's in the garage. Garages are often described as transitional spaces, places between inside and outside. And in paranormal cases, they're frequently linked to unexplained noises, shadow movement, and animal reactions. Some believe they act as entry points, while others say residual energy can linger there unnoticed. So is there really something in her garage that only her pets can sense? Or is there an explanation everyone is missing? You decide. Now in this next video, a woman named Simone has been living what can only be described as a waking nightmare. What makes her situation especially disturbing is that whatever is in her house can now open doors on its own. In many paranormal cases, this is considered a major turning point, an escalation that often leads to constant oppression, severe sleep deprivation, emotional breakdowns, and in some reports, even physical harm if nothing is done. Sadly, Simone says that's exactly what she's been experiencing. Watch.
Do you guys hear that noise? It's been like this all night. I can't make it stop. And when I get up and check the door, there's no one there. Oh my god. Terrifying. Go away. Go away. Make it stop. I don't know how to make them go away.
Eventually, she works up the courage to open the door, only to find that no one is there. Many believe this is a bad sign because opening doors to unexplained knocking, especially at odd hours, is thought to be a form of acknowledgement. In folklore and paranormal belief, responding to these knocks is believed to grant whatever is present permission to move closer, cross boundaries, or increase its activity. And after that moment, things did escalate. One day, while Simone was home alone, she started hearing voices. Listen carefully.
Do you guys hear that? No one is home. My sister left for the whole weekend. Who is that? Who is that in my house?
For those who doubt that mimics exist, this is where the story becomes even more unsettling. Simone says the voices sounded exactly like people she knows, loved ones who were nowhere near her at the time. Mimic entities are often described as using familiar voices to create trust, lower defenses, or lure people into responding. Just days after this clip, things got more intense. Whatever had been tormenting Simone inside her home no longer stayed confined there. It began following her outside. Watch this.
I was walking back to my car in the parking garage, and I keep hearing my name. It's coming from the stairs, but I don't see anyone on the stairs. I've been up and down these stairs, and I don't see anyone. I've just been staying inside. I can't trust anything anymore.
At times, it sounds as if someone is directly behind her, or suddenly in front of her. The constant presence has left her terrified to even step outside, unsure of where it might appear next. Many later connected these events back to her very first video, saying the shadowy figure she captured in the woods may have followed her home. Because of this, she's been warned not to acknowledge it, not to speak to it, react to it, or engage in any way. According to those familiar with attachment cases, acknowledgement is believed to strengthen these entities, feeding them attention and allowing them to tighten their hold. Whatever is happening to Simone, it's no longer limited to one place, and that's what makes this case so unsettling. In this next video, a woman becomes convinced that something isn't right in her attic. And here's why. Watch closely.
So I have this little room up in my attic, and I want to show you guys what I found in here. But first, look at this. I've been up here 2 times. I've lived in this house for 3 years, and I've been here. This will be my 2nd time. And I started doing some picking up, but that's my house down there. And this is, so if you close the door, look how tiny it is. But look at the doorknob. It's literally a foot away from the ground. Look at that. Isn't that weird? Okay, so anyways, let me just open that up real quick. I found this little guy up here. He has like a little thing to put batteries, which I'm going to try and see if it works. That'll be so cool, but it's so old and dusty. And I found him back here in this hole. I covered it back up because it was a little scary, but it's full of things. Oh, what was that?
The first thing people notice is the hole. Where does it actually go? And more importantly, what just moved? She can't explain it, so she goes back later to take clear photos of the opening, hoping to get a better look at what's inside. This time, nothing seems out of place. No movement, no shadows, just silence. But in her next video, she films the inside of her home to clear up questions viewers kept asking, especially about the furniture stored in the attic. There's no possible way those items could fit through the small opening that leads up there. Watch carefully.
You can't really see what was seen on the previous video. Plus, I was by myself. There was nobody in here. There was nobody walking around. This is the closet. And then there's one more. Let me show you guys. This is another room. Again, no holes in the ceilings. Another vent, but no like visible holes that you could see through. And then the closet, no holes. But there is a weird little door again. I don't know what's up with the weird little doors. That one's sealed. You can't open it. It's sealed. Let's go upstairs. We're up here already, and I got to the room, and I want to show you guys. I cleaned up a little bit, but to answer some of your questions, someone asked, what does this window lead to right next to the door? And I don't know. It's sealed, and there's like, yeah, it's just covered with siding. And then how did the furniture get up here? I'm assuming somebody built this up here. However, I don't know how this chair got up here. It's pretty big. I'm assuming right before they built the room, maybe they put it up here. I don't know. And then for the hole, there, as you can see, there's electricity. Oh, something else. These cables, these were all plugged in, and they go this way. Let me grab this light so I can show you guys. But let me go here. 1 second, because oh god. So the wires go all the way in here, and they're connected to something that just, there's more trash on this side of the house. See? Oh shit, there's a big ass one. Okay, so that's that side, right? The left side. But the right side, let's go take a look at the right side real quick. It's so hot in here. Oh boy. Okay, so there's no mirrors. I know you guys were saying, oh, there's a mirror. There's no mirror, no holes. Just trash. Like, I don't know.
Some people suggest the unthinkable, that someone could be living up there without her knowledge. Others mention something far more disturbing, a disappointment room. A disappointment room is believed to be a hidden space in older homes where families once confined relatives who were physically or mentally disabled, often kept out of sight and spoken about in shame. paranormal researchers believe locations tied to isolation, neglect, or suffering can retain emotional imprints, sometimes manifesting as unexplained movement, sounds, or the feeling of being watched. Not long after these theories surfaced, she began noticing things that seemed to support the idea that the attic once served a darker purpose. Watch this.
I was gonna just update you guys once I was finished, but I wanted to show you while I was grabbing my vacuum from downstairs, I noticed this little latch. And I know a lot of you guys in the comments were saying that this might have been a disappointment room, and I'm slowly starting to believe that it might have been. There's also the electrical outlet, or the little on and off switch for the electricity. For all the lights that are in here are powered on from the outside, as well as I think that they might have locked the door from the outside using this little thing with a lock. So yeah, it's a little sad actually.
Now, many have urged her to place a camera up there, especially since some still believe a living person could be accessing the space in secret. Others are convinced whatever remains up there isn't human at all. But what do you think? A hidden room with a disturbing past? Or someone living where they shouldn't be? I'll leave you to be the judge of this one. Now, in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his solo investigation at the infamous Squirrel Cage Jail, officially known as the Pottawatomie County Jail in Iowa. And this isn't just any abandoned jail. Built back in 1885, the structure is infamous for its rotating cage design, a mechanism that was meant to move inmates from cell to cell, but often jammed, trapping prisoners inside for hours, sometimes even days, completely helpless. This time, Ian makes his way towards solitary confinement, one of the most feared areas of the jail. But before he even reaches it, something stops him in his tracks. Watch closely.
This is where you'd go if you were acting a fool. Oh my gosh, look how creepy that looks. What the heck? I thought I heard something down there. Hello? Anyone down there? Let's go on a little further. Oh, it's tight. This is just the hallway leading up to it. Hello? There it is. You see that? Damn, that looks terrifying. Is there somebody back here? Look how small that is. That is literally your cell in solitary. You can't even sit in there. You'd have to stand. And to think that they would keep you in there for hours to even days. I mean, just imagine trying to sleep in a place like this.
To see if whatever was there could interact, Ian pulls out his K2 meter and places it carefully on the cell door, asking simple questions and waiting for a response. Watch what happens next.
If there's somebody in this cell, could you touch that green light? You just did it. Okay. Thank you. Could you touch it one more time? Holy crap. Okay, there's somebody in here. How did you end up in solitary? Did you fight somebody? Yes. Oh, guys, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I'm getting really creepy feelings. Is it okay that I'm back here? Do you not like me over here? Oh, no way, guys. He wants me gone. If you want me gone, I dare you to try to scare me out of here. Holy shit!
Without warning, the K2 is knocked off the door, hitting the ground hard. Ian hadn't touched it, there was no airflow, no vibration, and the device wasn't balanced in a way that it could simply fall on its own. To many investigators, physical interaction like this is considered a major escalation, a sign that whatever is present isn't just passing through, it's reacting. Also, solitary confinement in old jails is often linked to intense emotional energy, isolation, fear, anger, and some believe spirits tied to those spaces are far more aggressive when disturbed. After what Ian experienced, it's hard not to wonder, was this a warning or something daring him to stay? This jail has seen years of isolation, panic, and desperation. Men locked inside a metal cage that could stop turning at any moment, left in darkness, unable to move, scream, or escape. Some believe that kind of suffering doesn't fade, it imprints. And when someone walks those halls alone, asking questions, turning on equipment, it may be enough to wake something that never truly left. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video was recorded on the same day Kyle's crawlspace woke him up yet again. For weeks, he'd been hearing strange noises coming from underneath the house. Soft knocks, shuffling, and the kind of slow dragging sounds that make you question whether something living or something else entirely is down there. But this time, the noise was loud enough to pull him straight out of bed. He grabbed a flashlight, went into the crawl space to check, and saw a dark figure standing completely still in the far corner, almost as if it had been waiting for him. Later that night, things escalated. Watch.
What the fuck? Shit. What the fuck? Yo, my house is going crazy tonight. Shit. It's going crazy. This is the crossface thing just happened. It just happened. I'm sure I'm going to be posting that. And now the lights are just going crazy. What the... And my freaking flashlight ain't working. Turn the flash on here. Look at this. Look. What the... Shit.
Kyle has been living in this house for about a year and a half, and the activity has never stayed in one location. It's moved through every part of his home, from the crawl space, to the attic, to the garage, and now even inside the rooms where he sleeps. He's heard children laughing in empty hallways. He's seen objects shift on their own. Many believe the pattern suggests something intelligent, something that isn't tied to a single spot, but instead travels through the home at will. Others think Kyle might be dealing with more than one presence, but the truth is, no one has been able to pinpoint a clear cause for the escalating activity in Kyle's home, and every new clip only makes the situation more unsettling. In this next clip, a couple unknowingly bought a haunted Airbnb, and from the very first day they settled in, it's been one thing after another. Strange noises echoing through the hallways, objects shifting when no one is near them, cold patches moving from room to room, and every now and then the unmistakable sound of footsteps pacing in the basement even though no one lives below. But the moment that really made them start documenting everything happened on October 23rd at around 6:10 p.m. The wife and their dog, Vito, were downstairs when they both froze at the same time, hearing something moving in the upstairs portion of the Airbnb. Vito ran ahead up the staircase, but the second he reached the top, he flinched hard at something none of them could see. Watch this. according to the wife, for weeks now, Vito refuses to go any further than the top of the stairs. And anyone familiar with paranormal cases knows that is never a good sign. Dogs avoid areas that have strong energy signatures, and whatever is upstairs clearly makes him feel unsafe. But you see, while the husband is exhausted, overwhelmed, and constantly on edge from the non-stop disturbances, the wife remains strangely calm. She says it's because this is his first brush with something paranormal, but for her, these things have been happening ever since she lost her mother 10 years ago. She's been on a long spiritual journey since then, visiting mediums, trying different forms of communication, and opening herself to all phases of the paranormal in hopes of feeling her mother's presence again. And that's exactly where a major debate started. Because many people believe this entire haunting might not be tied to the Airbnb at all, but to her. When you open yourself spiritually, especially through mediums, seances, or grief-driven communication, it's widely believed that you also open doors you don't fully understand. And instead of attracting a loved one, you may attract something completely different that simply mimics familiar emotions to get your attention. So now the rumors are beginning to shift away from a haunted Airbnb to a spirit attached to the wife, and the timing lines up disturbingly well. The couple eventually left the Airbnb and moved into a new home, hoping to escape whatever was happening, but it's starting to seem like something followed them there too. Listen closely.
Okay, if you have anything to tell us, we're listening. We heard you. What do you have to say?
She caught this voice on camera as her husband took their dog out for a walk. Some viewers were terrified, urging her not to respond to whatever it was, but according to her, not everything is demonic. And she feels some spirits simply want acknowledgement. She's even taken it upon herself to figure out exactly what's in her home, why it's there, and whether she can help it move on. But here's the part no one can ignore. If this truly began long before the Airbnb, then leaving the house was never going to solve the problem. The attachment might be to her, not the property. Weeks after this video was recorded, the whispering didn't stop. In fact, it became more frequent. Watch this.
So we're open to communication. There's been stuff happening on the property in our other building, and earlier today. So this is the time to talk if you have anything you want to say to us. You're getting tons of orbs.
Mm-hmm. And it's right where you said, like right here. Are you?
Tell us your story. We're open to hear. And we're not judgmental. You can tell us anything.
This time she couldn't clearly make out what it said, so she posted it online. And surprisingly, most viewers heard the same thing. The voice saying Maisie. Every other sound they've caught in that house has been confusing, distorted, or completely unintelligible. But this is the first time a name has come through clearly. Whether Maisie is the entity trying to reach out, a person connected to the wife's past, or something else entirely, they're still trying to figure it out. And they're hoping that one day they'll finally get an answer. Now, in this next video, a hospital worker was assigned to a room that many staff members quietly refer to as the haunted one. Every hospital has that one space, an older room with a heavy history, a place where people feel watched even when they're alone, a place where equipment seems to malfunction more than it should. And for her, this was that room. She said she felt uneasy the moment she stepped inside, so before she began her shift, she decided to test something. She set her camera up in the corner of the room and then walked away for a moment. When she came back to check the footage, this is what she caught. If this had happened in an ordinary house, maybe a bed moving on its own, people might try to explain it away. But this happening in a hospital, that's something people won't overlook. So many souls have groaned, suffered, and passed on in that exact bed. Some believe that the energy of a patient's final moments can cling to the objects around them, and others think someone might still be hanging on to the last moments they spent in this room. And when she shared more details, things only got stranger. This wasn't just any room. It was part of the labor and delivery department, and it was often used for patients in isolation due to severe illness, or patients experiencing IUFD cases where the emotional weight in the room is already overwhelming. She even added that most staff avoid placing anyone here unless they absolutely have to. Some don't even like standing in the doorway for too long. Even after hearing all of this, some people online still doubted the bed moved on its own, so she shared this clip.
Here, I'll plug it. Well, I guess it's plugged over here, but...
The remote was right there on the bed, completely unplugged, not connected to anything. And yet, the bed still lifted and lowered by itself, as if responding to a patient who wasn't physically there anymore. For many viewers who've had their own unsettling experiences in hospitals, this video opened the door for them to share their stories too. The comments were filled with people recalling similar encounters in quiet rooms, empty hallways, or places where life and death intersect every single day. So, if you've ever felt something unexplainable in a hospital, this might be the moment to share your story too. Now, you might recognize this house from previous videos, an old property that once belonged to an elderly couple who passed away, leaving the home completely abandoned for years. A ghost hunter and his crew had been investigating the place for weeks, documenting everything from quiet knocks in the hallway to objects shifting on their own. But on this particular night, they noticed something different, something that felt restless. For the first few hours, everything stayed relatively calm. A curtain swayed, a picture frame tilted, nothing too threatening, just the kind of subtle activity that makes investigators believe a spirit is simply trying to communicate. But that sense of calm didn't last. According to them, the longer they stayed, the more they felt like whatever was in that house had started to grow uncomfortable with their presence. Watch this.
Băi, dăm ciută.
Băi, lasă-vă prostiile, nu mai te plimbi. Băi, mă plimb în jurul tău. Dă-mă ciuta, lasă, dă ciuta omului. Te plimbi acum.
Băi, mă duc să văd o leacă ce are.
Băi, eu intru să...
Ce are scris pe ea, poate are scris pe ea 1743, că nebunesc. Da, bule. Băi, oprește-ți, iau ciuta aia. N-a futuz nația, mătii. Na, dă-l jos. Dă-l jos, futuz rasa, mătii, na. Ia cât ți-am luat ciuta, uite-o.
Alin, pune-i măcața așa aia înăuntru.
Hai! Na, ciuta, sărăcio, ho, oprește-te!
Mâncața și pula ta.
Doamne ferească Dumnezeu!
De la ciută?
Na, bă, mă, paranormal.
Măi, de la ciută faci așa.
Na, mă, ia la spânzuri cu ciuta aia, tragă în gura ta.
Ai pus-o invers, mai cu ciuta cu capul încolo, ai pus?
A fost scoasă din poză.
Ce-a făcut?
Da.
Am lipit-o și nu se mai poate deslipi.
Da, leagă-te la cap cu ea, dar ce nervi așa pe tine, mă, fată?
Ai pus ciuta cu capul încolo, băi. Vezi acum cine dă. Hai de pula mea.
Da, păi noi trebuie să mai râdim ca să nu ne căcăm pe noi. Am uitat să mă uit de subte. Hai că vin! Da, bune, am uitat să mă uit, măi, de... Ia uite, măi, na. Vezi că tu, mă, te poți să faci cât vrei.
Băi, pune.
Dă-i tare, du-te, tragă în gura ta.
Nu, în jur, măi, tot. Dar nu-i de aur.
Na. Na.
Each time they reached out to pick something up from the table, no matter what it was, the objects began vibrating violently until they dropped them, almost as if the spirit was saying, "Don't touch my things." Still, the investigators didn't leave. They believed the spirit wasn't trying to harm them, only protective, territorial, and clearly aware of everything they were doing. So they decided to do a full sweep of the house, hoping to capture more evidence of what they were dealing with.
Să ne arunci prin grinzele astea, să ne rupă capul și la revedere. N-auziți mărit? Măr! Dă-te, mă, bapula, mă, să gata, băi, hai, divă, să închideți, plecăm acasă, mă.
Măr.
Lasă-mă, dracu, în pace. Am zis măr, măi, la mișto am zis. Doamne ferească Dumnezeu. Reptilian, măi, ce e ăsta? Tatilograf.
Telegraf.
Every room they walked into seemed to respond to them, and the deeper they moved into the house, the more intense the activity became, like the spirit's patience was wearing thin.
Uite, mă, MF-ul ăla nu mai face nimic, nu se mai...
Măr.
Uite, și suntem cu telefonul la 2 metri de el.
Moartea în spectacol.
Ia, moartea în spectacol.
Mișcă la, da, asta o leagă.
M-am murit în război. Dă-te MF-ul jos, mă până în jos.
Abandonat.
Că m-am zis de MF că nu se mișcă, că nu s-a prins nicio lumină, l-o dat de tot jos. Măr!
De ce ai venit?
Îi vomită, ce face, mă, frate?
Se sugrumă, măi, cum așa face, cred că omul când se spânzură, să facă, dar cred că ăsta-i somnul. Eu n-am auzit niciodată.
That moment finally gave them a little more insight. Whoever, or whatever, was still roaming this house belonged to someone who had suffered during the war. Some viewers believe it might be tied to the former homeowner who reportedly lost a loved one overseas. Others think it could be a residual imprint, a fragment of a soldier who once stayed there during troop movements decades ago. But until the team returns with more answers or clearer evidence, the true identity of the spirit still remains a mystery. In the following clip, a family's home security camera captures something they never expected involving their young son, who is autistic and extremely sensitive to changes in his environment. His parents explain that he's very routine-oriented and easily distressed by anything being out of place, especially at night. One night, while the entire household was asleep, they suddenly heard their son screaming in terror. Watch. Imagine waking up around 1 a.m. to your autistic son crying, insisting that the elf on the shelf had moved on its own. For those unfamiliar, Elf on the Shelf is a popular holiday tradition where parents move a small elf figurine around the house each night to make it appear as though it's watching children's behavior for Santa. The rule is simple: the elf only moves when no one is watching. But in this case, no one was touching it when it moved. What makes this more unsettling is that the child was genuinely terrified, not confused or playful. Some viewers believe the stress of the tradition itself can cause children, especially those with sensory sensitivities, to panic when something appears different. Others point out that Elf on the Shelf has long been tied to darker folklore: small watching figures, silent observers, and objects believed to invite unwanted attention into a home. A few even argue that objects meant to watch children, even symbolically, can create fear-based expectations that manifest in disturbing ways. Whether this was a misunderstanding, a moment of heightened fear, or something far more unsettling, one thing is certain: the family hasn't been able to look at that elf the same way since. But what do you think happened here? Now, this next clip is an update from a previous video about a family who went to check out an apartment they were considering renting. At first, everything seemed normal, until just minutes after stepping inside, an unidentified voice was suddenly heard whispering the word Jadis. At the time, many viewers believed it could have been interference, audio distortion, or even someone outside the apartment. But something about the voice didn't sit right. After that video gained attention, the woman went back through the footage she recorded inside the apartment, and that's when she noticed something else she completely missed before. Watch closely.
Oh my god.
Just like the previous video, another voice can be heard. This time, some people swear they hear it saying, "Don't buy," almost like a warning. Others hear what sounds like a young boy softly saying, "Hello, Mum," while a different group of viewers are convinced the voice is saying, "Grandpa." What makes this unsettling is how common whispers are in reports tied to supposedly empty homes. Paranormal researchers often say whispered voices are one of the earliest signs of a presence, especially in places with emotional residue, homes where someone may have lived, passed away, or never fully moved on. Unlike loud noises, whispers are believed to be intentional, subtle, and directed, meant to be heard by specific people rather than caught accidentally. The first clip left many viewers deeply concerned, questioning whether the family went through with renting the apartment. But later, she confirmed that they didn't. And judging by what was captured on camera, many believe that decision may have spared them from something far more unsettling, whether the voices were warning them away or trying to make contact. This apartment clearly isn't as empty as it appears. In this next video, a woman who's been experiencing strange activity in her home finally manages to capture something on camera. For a while now, she's claimed to see dark figures appearing briefly in different parts of the house, always just out of full view, always gone the moment she looks directly at them. One evening, while she was home alone, she stepped out of her bathroom and noticed something unusual. Watch closely.
I hear a woman humming. What the hell? Hold on. Where is that coming from? Look, Xavier hears it too. Hold on. You heard it too, huh?
As she walks out of the bathroom, she catches sight of something black moving. At first, she assumes it's just a shadow or her eyes adjusting to the lighting, but when she turns her head, the shape is still there, a dark, human-like figure peeping before vanishing moments later. Many viewers believe this could be what's commonly referred to as a shadow figure, entities often described as pitch-black silhouettes that appear briefly and disappear without a trace. Others think it could be tied to stress, fatigue, or the brain misinterpreting familiar spaces, especially when someone is alone and alert. But some point out that seeing a figure clearly enough to turn and face it suggests something more than imagination. Whether this was a shadow entity, residual energy, or something her mind can't explain yet, one thing is certain: whatever she saw felt real enough to leave her shaken. But Stego, you think she's dealing with? Now, in this next clip, a family is dealing with the terrifying consequences of opening their door to something knocking in the middle of the night. At first, they thought it was just a mistake. Maybe a neighbor, maybe kids playing a prank. But ever since that moment, their nights have been anything but normal. Sleep has become nearly impossible. Objects shift around the house on their own, voices are heard when no one else is awake, and the knocking never truly stops. It only moves, echoing from different parts of the home. Watch this.
Voy a ir a ver, güey.
Sí, sí, ve.
Ya estoy grabando, ¿eh?
Sí, ya. Con cuidado, el palo, el tubo, ¿dónde está?
No mames, pero está tocando bien de güey. Aquí está, aquí está, aquí. A la máquina, güey. Márcala a la policía, güey. Sí. A la madre. A su verga, güey. A la verga. ¡Hey! ¡Hey!
Ábreme, hijo de tu puta madre.
¿Qué quieres?
Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre.
¿Quién eres?
Soy el que andas buscando. ¿O que me querías ver? Aquí estoy. Ábreme.
La sangre de Cristo tiene poder.
Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre.
¿Qué eres?
Soy el que tú quieres ver, cabrón. Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre.
¿Por qué estás molestando aquí? Aquí no hay nada. Y ahí le llamé a la patrulla, ¿eh?
Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre. Querías verme, pues aquí estoy.
Pues entra a ver.
Ya estoy adentro de tu casa. Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre.
Lárgate a chingar a tu madre de aquí. Ya le hablé a la patrulla, ¿eh?
Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre. Ya estoy ahí adentro de tu casa.
Ya viene la patrulla, nada más te aviso, ¿eh? Lárgate de aquí. Lárgate. Ya le abriste a la patrulla.
What makes this moment especially unsettling is that whatever is inside the house doesn't just knock anymore. This time, it responds. Paranormal researchers often warn that responding to unknown knocking or voices at night is one of the worst things you can do. Many believe it's an invitation, an acknowledgement that gives whatever is outside permission to cross a boundary. In this case, it seems whatever entered that night may be growing stronger, or worse, drawing in other presences. Some believe one spirit can act like a doorway, inviting others to follow. And judging by how the activity has escalated, this family may no longer be dealing with just one thing. But until we receive more updates from the family, this remains unsolved. The following clip was recorded by a team of paranormal investigators who entered a house already known for intense activity. From the moment they stepped inside, they said the atmosphere felt heavy, almost oppressive, like they were being watched. In a previous video we shared about this same location, their first instinct was to pray. something many believe can provoke or expose darker entities rather than calm them, and in that case, the prayers seemed to force whatever was in the house to make itself known. This time, their attention was drawn to a creepy doll sitting quietly inside the home. Instead of avoiding it, they decided to use it as part of an experiment. Watch closely.
Oricare spirit te află aici, oricare entitate, oricare demon, oricare suflet neliniștit, oricare strigoi, prin puterea primordială prin care am fost investit, îți ordon să miști pina aia. Marș de aici! Bă, ca mea! Râmea aia, băi, frate! Marș de aici, că nu cred așa ceva. Holy Jesus Christ! Îți ordon să miști pina aia. Marș de aici! Bă, ca mea! Vă arăt pina asta? Că nu-i legată cu nimic? Hă? Of, Doamne! Vă arăt pina asta? Hă? Ridică mă, du-o încoace, ia-o, răstoarnă, învârte-o pe tot. Uite, Dumnezeu, uite picioare. Vă arăt pina asta care nu-i legată cu nimic? Uite picioare în ea, măi. Hă? Dacă răbușa nu e abonată de asta. Dar oricum poate să filmezi, stai să... Vă arăt, mă, puterea asta primordială?
There was nothing attached to the doll. No strings, no tricks, no hidden mechanism. The doll moved on its own. Some viewers argue the movement could be explained by balance or vibrations, but one of the investigators wasn't convinced that this alone was enough proof. So they decided to test something else nearby, choosing a completely different object to rule out coincidence. Take a look.
Oricare spirit te afla, oricare entitate, oricare demon, oricare strigoi, prin puterea primordială prin care am fost investit de către patriarh, îți ordon să miști.
Nivelă.
Mișcă poza aia sau dă-o jos, fă ceva. Marș de aici! Aoleu! Uitați pozele, uitați poșetele, uitați poza că nu e legată cu nimic. Da? Uitați. Uitați pozele, uitați. Da? Da, Doamne.
After this second attempt, it became much harder to dismiss what was happening. Two separate objects responding under similar conditions suggested this wasn't just about the doll itself. Still, wanting absolute confirmation, they pushed further and attempted one final test. This time, they focused on something much larger.
Prin puterea prin care am fost investit, să rup perdeaua aia. Trage-o cât are. Băi, Alin, băi. Nu am nimic acum.
The curtains suddenly moved with force. Many believe this escalation is significant, and some say it shows the presence growing more aggressive the more it's challenged, while others warn that repeated provocation can turn a passive entity into a dangerous one. According to paranormal belief, spirits that respond with increasing force aren't simply playful, they're territorial, reactive, and possibly hostile. Whether this was a buildup of energy, a violent entity asserting control, or something darker reacting to being tested, one thing is clear. Whatever was inside that house didn't like being questioned. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian investigates the Mabel Tainter Memorial Theater, and this time he heads down into the basement. At first, everything feels calm, just old artifacts, storage rooms, and the quiet hum you'd expect from a historic building. But that calm doesn't last long. Watch and listen closely.
Creepy old fireplace. Oh my god, those sounded like voices. Hello? That legit sounded like people talking. Who's talking? Okay, there's definitely someone in there. It sounds like people talking in here. Hello? Who's in there? Talk to me. What's your name? Oh my gosh. Is there someone in here? There's literally nobody in here. And yet it sounded like there were. Oh. What's that smell?
The voices sound distant, almost conversational, as if someone is speaking just out of sight. Ian pauses, trying to pinpoint where it's coming from, when something else happens that confirms his suspicion that he isn't alone.
Alright, I know somebody's down here with me. Could you give me a sign of your presence? That door just opened! Oh my god! What just happened? Look at that. What? Are you serious? How do you explain that? That drawer just went boom. It just opened by itself. Thank you for opening the drawer. Could you shut it? That cigar smell is a lot stronger over here. It literally feels like there's 4 different spirits here sitting in each one of these chairs. And one of them just opened that. I can't thank you enough for opening that drawer. Thank you so much, because that was phenomenal. You got my heart rate going up. No way. It just moved again. Did you see that? Oh my god. I have no explanation for that. Wow, I am blown away. Thank you so much again.
This time, the movement isn't dramatic, but it's deliberate enough to catch his attention. Some viewers believe it's a response, subtle, controlled, and intentional. Ian considers possible explanations like pressure changes or airflow, but he can't find anything in the basement that would account for what just happened. Adding to the unease, longtime staff and investigators have shared rumors about this basement over the years. Some claim it's a hotspot for unexplained voices, especially late at night. Others say footsteps can be heard pacing back and forth when no one else is below, while a few report feeling sudden dizziness or heaviness in their chest after spending too much time down there. There are even stories suggesting the basement may have been used for private meetings and rehearsals long ago, leaving behind residual energy tied to intense emotion. So what do you think? Lingering energy from the theater's long history, or something more dangerous? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. This next clip is an update from the family that once opened their door after weeks of strange knocking. The same family whose life changed from odd disturbances to full-blown haunting. Now, just when they thought things might calm down, the activity has escalated, and it's getting worse, especially around the kitchen. Watch.
Padre Santo.
Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a nosotros tu reino. Hágase tu voluntad así en la tierra como en el cielo.
This isn't the soft, tentative knocking of before. This is aggressive, hard, demanding. It rattles the door's frame. It shakes the house. It doesn't stop after 1 or 2 knocks. It repeats, builds, as though whatever's on the other side has run out of patience and is desperate to get in. That alone raises a chilling question. They once opened the door, and after that, chaos followed. So why is there knocking again? Some believe when a spirit becomes comfortable with a house, it doesn't stay alone. It invites others. And those other presences tend to be far less patient, far more dangerous. With this kind of knocking, the thing behind the door could be far worse than what first showed up. Opening it may no longer just let in a curious specter, but something malevolent, something hungry. As desperate as this family must be, at this point, opening the door isn't an option. Not until they have a plan or someone powerful enough to handle what might come through. If you were them, what would you do now? Change house? Set up protection? Call professionals? Whatever their next move is, one thing is certain. What's behind that door may be beyond anything they've seen before, and until we get more footage, more answers, or some clarity, this remains a mystery.